Yay, it's on. Alright, cool. They show up when they show up. Alright, let's get started. Let me get over there. Alrighty. What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Hardcore, and we're back today. This time we're gonna be climbing the tower with Miss Lina. She's a real special lady after all. She got herself a new costume. She's got a new set of weapons as well. And even if the weapon isn't that good in the first place, we still got her best one, which is the speed booster one. This is probably my favorite character they've ever introduced into the whole game itself, because she feels really good to play even without the speed booster, which is saying a lot. That's something I can really appreciate. For the most part, we'll just like change colors every like 33 floors or something, depending on how things go. Like we're gonna start out with blue, because Miss Lina over here is a protect demon, like the fourth one in the game. Because she certainly has a whole lot of stuff. She has a whole lot of what are they called? She has a lot to follow up with, because I think it's what, Lapis, Ingrid, her, and Kirara. They're all protect demons. Well, let's get started. We got a long way to go. How are you doing there, Raptor? It's been a pretty exciting week for me, to say the least. There's nothing that money can't buy. Alright, let's see. In terms of things for the game itself, they changed the defense values for, let's see, what is it, for VR. And now that the whole mode itself is like drastically easier. I think they did this for like at the beginning of the month. Oh, I still have all of her demon gear on. It's fine. But no, they did a rebalance for the way the defense system works, and also the passive skill defense that you get for leveling up your skill points. Because originally at level 25 it was a 25% increase in defense. Now it's 50% innately built inside. So it's extremely worthwhile to actually getting it maxed out early, so you can take on all the harder stuff. But to say the least, it's been very helpful for people trying to climb VR, because now it's like people are going like floor 280 and beyond. One, due to Astaroth's supernova being extremely bugged to all get out. And even though it's been that way for almost like, I think over a year and a half now, ever since they first implemented VR. Because for the longest time, supernova was the most slept on move for Astaroth. And I liked it a lot because it was a shorter cooldown and it dealt burn damage. Because burn is always scaled really weird in this game. It's since it's based on damage dealt, and then it scales with like, and then the bug is like that it scales with more enemies that are on screen. So you just have Astaroth one-shotting like floor 100 and beyond bosses, which makes her like the premier character to use in VR, because she stays away from everything and also deals like 20 million damage. And 20 million is not an exaggeration either. Like today I was using her and she deals 20 million by herself. That's like the bare minimum for her. I don't exactly know what they were wanting to accomplish with her renewal weapon. She didn't exactly need one in the first place, but yet here we are. Because since it effectively just turns into this big old double barrel shotgun effect, where she just deals 40 million damage, and then a 10 million damage burn tick. Because I think it's like the burn from Supernova deals 50% of the damage dealt every second for 4 seconds. So it ends up equaling the same amount of damage it dealt with the original attack, which is ungodly powerful. I mean, it was strong before, when it had the ability to just like go nuclear and just rip the heads off of your enemies instantly. Oh, I missed. But for the most part, they make Fuma like, what's his face from... See, I forget what his name is right now because I don't care about him. There's not much to care about. Wow, I forget what his name is. It's not... Whatever his name is. He's very boring and he's just just a milquetoast type of character. It's more or less they don't really have an idea what they want to do with him in this game, because they want him to be a more, I guess, marketable character. And in RPGX and Taba, he is like one of the worst people in the whole game, and he's supposed to be our protagonist. I mean, there's only so much you can do with a guy who looks like he's got jaundice 25/8, and he's just straight up nasty to everyone he meets. Like, this game is supposed to make him more palatable, but they don't do a very good job at it. I mean, you could call him the everyman, but he sure doesn't feel like, you know, average Joe Schmo over there with his copy ability. I mean, I've never really felt a reason to like him, even all those years ago when I first saw him in Taba, because he's such an asshole. There's nothing redeemable about Mr. Fuma. And then when they take his bite away from him, not making a total, you know, professional rapist, when they take that away from him, you know what he has? He has nothing, because he's just boring. Which makes him like the Taimanin protagonist, who is also just boring and has nothing going on. It's never really been about him. It's always been about the girls. Trying to make it about him in any sort of capacity is like missing the forest for the trees. Yeah, just it. He's safe. And that's what makes him so boring. He's an imposter. He's so sus. I wonder what they're going to do for the rebalancing stuff in VR. I'm not looking very forward to that, because it's made getting to floor 100 a much less tiring experience. I mean, your characters still die pretty often if they get hit by something like... Oh, I whiffed it. I'm glad they made the defensive changes so everybody can start going to higher floors and farm faster. Because that's one of the problems I have with the whole mode itself, is like it takes forever to do anything. And you get kicked down to floor 1 every week, so it makes me not want to farm any further than like floor 31 and just go farm from there, or just not even do it at all. Like, dude, when it's Spider Queen week, like, I don't want to play the game. It sucks. Yeah, I just go to like the floor 31 or like 50, something like that. So I can just I can get my points for the day and then leave. At least with machines and mass Taimanin, like the mission is so fast. It's I'm not too concerned about it because I can automatically farm massed with the auto team, and machines takes like 9 seconds every time. I'm not worried about that. It's this when the spider, because every time you have to wait for the wave to despawn and then the next wave to spawn in. Then you have to wait for her to come down, and you have to wait for her to do her actions. She's vulnerable the entire time when you do it, but it's like, I have had enough of that shit. Then this week they introduced Queen Kanaloa. That is the simultaneously like it's the only fight for VR I've actually liked, because the enemies sit still and are so boringly passive. To die is like the ultimate insult because it's such an easy fight. You don't even need any crazy stun lock either. You can just beat the crap out of her with it. But since she has like Kanaloa has the ability to like nullify damage from specific forms of damage. So like it can nullify ranged or it can nullify melee damage depending on which of the ads are out there, and each one of the ads themselves inflicts a specific debuff like bleed or poison or electricity. Like most people will never actually end up seeing most of the fight because we all just use Astaroth and blow the doors down on her instantly because nobody wants to fight her. It's work. Like, the only times that I ever die on Queen Kanaloa are if I get bled for, like... If the enemy hits a crit on me for, like, 45,000 damage, and then applies bleed at the same time, it'll apply an 8,000 damage bleed to it. And Lina got hit with one of those earlier today with both the bleed and the poison at the same time, so she got... she took a 6,000 damage dot every second until she died. That's the only way to die on that mission, because, like, with this version of... Wow, that's loud. Because you can use, the Supernova Astaroth, but I actually like using, the Firewave Astaroth version better. Not Firewave, it's the... Oh, it's the Lake of Fire one that does, like, big AoE damage. Because if you can inflict slow to Kanaloa and all of the ads, it just simplifies the whole thing. It's albeit a very slow way to fight her, but I much more value the consistency than anything else. Because I think the boss itself only has like 2 attacks, which is the Tentacle Swing and the Ink Spit. And that's it. The ads can, like, drop poison pools and inflict debuffs, and that's it. I like the fight because it's actually something you can manage pretty simply. I just wish you were able to do something like, what is it called? I wish you were able to do multiple runs like you can in, like, every other thing in the game. Like, say, oh, I want to do time attack, you can have like a ×5 or ×10 run or something. I would absolutely love that, so I can actually clear VR in like 10 minutes. Like, if you want to make it a daily activity, don't make it feel like work. But I think this is also the first new monster we've gotten in like, what, several months. Because the, let's see, the Lapis and Spinel updates, they brought new events that brought them as bosses. And then we had the story update that brought new machine types as well. So who is the top 3 character to play and recommend to for the entire game? It's Yukikaze, Asagi, Astaroth, and Murasaki. That's it. You only need those 4. You have 2 melee solutions and 2 range solutions. Yukikaze can actually do a whole lot of stuff, but nobody likes her because she's such a big bratty bitch, and she's another flatty character. But mechanically, she's actually very, very good. She's always been good, actually. Hello there, Timeverse. Yeah, it's like she's really a boring character. There's nothing much to Yukikaze in the first place. It's like when I've gotten many weapons over the years. It's probably like, oh, they want to incentivize me to play her more. Like, no, I don't want to play her more because I don't like her. She can do everything I want to do, and it's like, eh. Ina does them, but just slightly worse. Multi-runs would be fantastic. Like when you, like, well, I can't really say, like a walling type of floor. Because I can clear it. But like for the longest time I had gotten stuck on like those bottom level floors. And it's like when you finally clear that, it's like, you know, I remember the first week when VR came out and you learned that it resets every week. Like actually climbing to that, having to claw your way back up there feels really bad because there's like barely any good rewards for it, which is like the worst thing for this mode. Is that, you know, it's one thing to have to climb again, but it's like the rewards are like, they're RNG based or they're really, really expensive. If I had to add a punk genre to the game for costumes, I would probably put that on I would probably put that on Lina because she dresses like that sort of stuff. Micah would probably get that for sure. Ina too. Sakura would actually be a really good contender for that type of costume too. Lina is like the less practical type of gun user though, because her healing is relegated to a feel and it's a weak one too. Like if I really want to get any value out of her healing, I have to like scale her HP to like astronomically high levels. It's someone like it's like Lapis, where you actually want to get any valuable healing out of her field, which is like one of the best in the game at it too. If you want any value out of that, you have to start like stacking to 70,000 health so she doesn't get blown up by having something look at her the wrong way. Oh, look at that, I got caught on the upstairs ledge. I wonder if it is possible to get back up there during the mission. It's your boy Knuckles. Let's do something else. Where is Blinding Storm? I don't like using the blue effect for this skill because it takes away the consecutive attack behind her and it heals for less. I'm protector of the emeralds and gems. Phantasma is really nice to come into the game, but here's the thing: it's like I know that she doesn't have. She's got a bit part in RPGX, and even then, it's like she's the same situation as like Eleanor. Like I barely know who the character is, and yet they're finally getting in the game, which makes you wonder. It's like, you know, there's other characters I'd like to see in the game too. Like we could have Mirabelle Bell. We could have Mirabelle Bell. We could have Faust. We could have Mary. We could have both of the clones. We could have Granny Province. We could have Minasaki. But more or less with Phantasma though, I'm just glad she's sharing weapons with Noah. That is a character that they have not bothered to touch at the 10-foot pole unless like were doing the remake for. Noah is like actually drastically better than she was before. She's like, I can't clear 100 with her. I can't clear floor 100 with her yet. So she certainly has the power, but I do not have the investment for her, which kind of sucks. Splat. Can it really not center on the tentacles? It's probably because they're so tall and he hit the ceiling. But if I had to pick another character to get in, it would probably be Clone Asagi because I like her so much. But yes, the reward system needs a revamp in general. It's very tiresome because it's like, yeah, there's a first time reward. How about a first time reward for like every week? Make it something like, you know, special. Like there are even lazy ways to do this where it just like it's randomly selected every week and it pulls from a pool of things you can do every week. Oh, rewards that they can give for like the first, you know, 100 something floors every week. Anything beyond that is just like, you know, bonus tokens or something. I think everybody would want Mary to be playable at this point, because Mary herself is like, she's been in the game since it started. She's been there forever, and yet they don't do anything with her. I don't even think she's been in the game ever since. It's probably some sort of like contract negotiation problem. Because knowing good old Inner Brain and Gremory, they do a very poor job with that management stuff. Noah is a character that, like, if I'm gonna use more for Noah, I probably need to get the bear, because that bear is like, that's a total game changer for her, with scalable properties on her, on the bear, and healing. It's like, that's exactly what she needs. It's like Astaroth's Dying Apocalypse. She needs that weapon. Well, Astaroth doesn't exactly need it, but it makes her much stronger. Noah needs it. Like, it makes so much of a difference. Noah's signature supporter, the blue one at least, it only does a healing on skills, on skill damage dealt every 10 seconds. That's its balancing feature. You usually mostly use it for the snare and the really cheap cooldown. They've also never reran that supporter. I'm very glad I got that, because that formation is like really good. That it takes part in, at least. But what are they talking about in terms of like the Wasteland costumes? Are they talking about the post-apocalyptic, the future costume set from RPGX? Like that's in the game now or something? See, there we go. Now we can actually teleport. No, we didn't teleport on top of the tentacle. Like, the speed boost itself for Lina off of this weapon is like the best thing ever for her. It adds so much to actually playing her in the first place. Like, like, there's no reason, honestly, not to use any other weapon. Even her limited package weapon, like, pales in comparison to this. Because the speed boost is just so damn good. Split. Alright, that's 33. We can change colors now. Let's go green, because I want to save red for the very end. Oh, that's good. We can use that. Now, I like that they actually managed to make Torajiro, you know... Torajiro is like one of the most... is a very busted supporter in the first place, but now they actually made her, like, palatable. She's green, Stella now, and she still keeps the buff duration thing. This is probably what it should have been in the first place, but knowing them, that mostly felt like it was not on purpose. That's such a good supporter. Really solid all-arounder. Amanda's Exile is like the only finisher that she has, and she really, really needs it. Like, she's one of the, I think her and Tokika are the only characters I could ever say that needs all 4 slots. Because Tokika needs her finishers to get out of all of her skills. So that she can actually make the escape, because for some reason they like giving her the longest recovery periods on all of her attacks. What is this, 35? Yep. I'd say if anybody needs a remake now, it's probably going to be Shizuru and Tokiko. Because I would be lying to you if I didn't think they needed some help. Shizuru just needs like armor on some of her attacks. It just makes her such a chore to play. We'll use Coral Sword. I never use that. Her limited set is supposed to improve Coral Sword, but you also have to use Coral Sword. It's been going pretty good there, Darth Neo. I love Lina. The fact we have both Ingrid and Lina now into the game is like one of my favorite things. She's one of my favorites from Taba, and she's also like one of the she's also Ingrid's protege. So it's nice to have them both in the game. Yeah, if there's something this game could do, it could probably do some improvements on the sound effects. Feels like I'm swinging a magic wand at some of these characters sometimes. Oh yeah, last week I did Ultra Kill. It's a game I'd been playing a lot at that point. It's like something I wanted to do just for fun. Because that's a really fun game. That is something I put a lot of time into, and I still want to play it even more. Shazam! Let's see, Kurenai, Kiara, Shizuru, Tokiko, Micah. Micah needs that for sure. She just needs armor and things to change. Yeah, I already said Kurenai. Yeah, they're the ones that could really do with it the most. Oh no! I don't doubt Kiara is like the most asked for, one of the most asked for characters in any community. She's one of the favorites in Japan, in the US, in Latin America, in South America, in Europe. She's generally a winner all around the world. And people actually wanting her to be, you know, revamped and actually give her a real butt for once. Because it's not like they can't. They certainly have given it to other characters. Oh, it's Coral Sword. Nice. Gotta bowl them all over in one plate. I think this is what, speaking of remakes, I think this is what, Ingrid's second total one that she's had things changed for her. Because let's see, her first one, when she was first introduced in the game, she wasn't very good. Well, she was, no, she wasn't, she's always been a solid damage dealing character. She was just rough around the edges to play. Then she got slightly better with her first mechanical update. Then she had the remake, which changed her a lot. But it also added Ignisin, which is a massive game changer for her. I feel like when they added in Ignisin in the game, it was the consolation for, we're sorry that we removed Critical Ingrid as one of the most famous builds of the entire game, and you removed Critical Ingrid, so now you have to play Damage Built Ingrid. But it has skill cooldown features and lots more damage, so it's actually a pretty solid trade-off. And you can actually play Ingrid in her original color too. It's not like they don't know Critical Ingrid is like the way people want to play Ingrid, is because Corporate Warrior is based all around that, and it's an extremely devastating setup. Change your costume. Black-winged Hell Knight. Ingrid sadly does not have the highest attack in the game anymore, but that's also saying a lot, because she went uncontested for almost like 4 years with it. The only people who have ever surpassed her are is Spinel and Lapis. They both have higher base attack stats. And with Spinel's, it's like it doesn't surprise me one bit that she does, because she's supposed to be this like monstrous attacking demon. Who then even buffs herself and everyone else. So actually having Ingrid and Spinel on the same team is like insane. Like, I let the AI control Spinel, and she just goes to town. It's like amazing. Makes Ingrid hit so insanely hard. And it also makes all her skills faster too, which is like, it's great. The Demon Girls gotta work together, and they sure as hell do now. I thought I lost the cursor. I mean, you got it right there, Miku. It's just that before VR, you know, she's a character who, you know, like, is designed to debuff enemies, and she works pretty damn slowly to do it. Like, her big ticket skill has always been Rose Rondo. Whoops. Because her big ticket skill's always been Rose Rondo, and it always will be. Because the other two attacks that she has in like her big colors are insanely slow or require a lot of setup. Because Rose Rondo allows her to be able to just debuff an enemy and simultaneously do like tons of damage. Rawr. Cow. Chew on this. But when you finally, now that we finally have group content with VR, it actually helps Shizuru out a lot in terms of viability. Because now she actually is able to have somebody else take advantage of the downtime that she has during her attacks. Which makes her so valuable in VR. Like, she sits there and spins for Rose Rondo, and she leaves herself really vulnerable. That allows, like, you as a player or, like, any other one to come in there and just, like, clean up house. She's very good there, and I like her a lot. I'm glad she's one of my first 87s as well, because I like her so much, and I'm glad that she actually now has a home in content, instead of just being very cumbersome to play. Lapis herself is very good, because she's designed on the conceptual level to be VR healing. Like, you put down her field, it's for healing. She has an attack that has healing. She gives defense. She's designed to keep everybody alive. And she does a very good job at that. Because now with the defensive changes to the game, like adding another 25% innate defense, and how defense is calculated, I think, in various content, she's able to finally just do what she does best, being a tank. And she just tanks hits all day. Because I think she has the highest base defense in the game after Kiara now. No one had beaten Kiara after that point, and now it took Lapis and Spinel to beat the respective categories of attack and defense. Phantasma herself, though, she's relatively new in RPGX, and I don't know anything about her. Like, most of these characters I can, like, faintly remember or something like that, but no, since she's so new and I don't keep up with RPGX, I don't even know what she does. I guess they're trying to, since they have a two-pronged front they want to do, like, they're pushing her in RPGX, and they're going to be pushing her here as a playable character. It's one thing to be, like, you know, a guest unit in RPGX or something, because at least in there you only have to deal with, like, what is it, you know, they can write you out of the story, or they can do something about that. It's like, but if you're a playable, they can do whatever they want, and it's like, use or not use you. In this, though, in like a game like Action Taimanin where you become a playable character, you're just always going to be a playable character. She looks fat as fuck, though, and I like that. It's like she's the living picture of the right kind of obesity people like. So she's going to do pretty good numbers. I just wonder how she's going to be mechanically. Because she just looks like she's going to be another... She won't use Eleanor's weapons, but I hope she doesn't share the same playstyle, though. I have no clue what they're even going to do with her. She more or less just feels like another OC type of character that they created. Woo! Here's the thing with like Lapis and Spinel though. I'm very happy that they are OC characters that people like and have done well. I'm very happy about that. These are characters they didn't squander either. They did not squander the hype that they built with Lapis and Spinel, which is very good. It's like the one time they've actually done something right with them. It doesn't feel like a mistake. You're not wrong there, Miku. I would like to, I like more established characters as well. Because certainly, like, you take a poll literally 3 years ago, and you've added, like, what, 6 characters right now? But it's also, next month is June, everybody. You know what that means. It's time for the June bride selection to come back into fruition. Who do you think is going to get one this year? But of course, it always is. They got to meet the Aoi Nagisa quota. If they don't, well, that's no good at all. They can't. We need money. We gotta print it out using a good old-fashioned Aoi Nagisa character. Big fatties. Like, have you seen the new version of Asuka that they're using for RPGX? Like, she looks bigger than like Taimanin Yukikaze 2 Rinko. She's enormous. How about this? You know what would be a really cool addition to the game? What's her face? Like Asagi's grandma. Put Asagi's grandma in the game. Darth Neo, you know exactly which character I'm talking about too. Put her in the game. That's an absolute winner from me. That is not only like a funny situation, that's actually really cool. She's like Sayuri from Senran Kagura. Asuka's new outfit's really good. I like Asuka a lot in the first place, so anytime that she gets something like anytime she gets something, I'm always happy about it. Granted, her renewal was so divisive in this game, like, because it simultaneously changed the way her face looks to be like more pudgy, I guess, which is something I see, but I actually kind of like in that way. It's very cute. Sayuri is actually the original old woman form for Jasmine. So that's the that's how it goes. Like, the one thing I don't like about Coral Sword is like it does not that much damage. Lina isn't all about doing like tons of damage across single hits. She's about flooding your inbox full of spam. Thank you, Mr. Brazil. There's not a lot of people interested in Ayame in the first place, because she doesn't have actually that much like Western appeal either. Because like Taimanin Yukikaze, but Kurenai's game only just now got translated. Because I think it's been what, like 6 years since it released. But it's been a long time for Miss Kurenai. Oh, now we're on 55 to 60. The real ass beater levels. This I know is still a wall for a lot of people. And it probably will be always too, because of the way of Asagi's and Asagi, Sakura, and Rinko's behavior in these missions are so erratic. Kenso. You know how cool it would be to actually have Carla the Bloodlord in there? That would honestly be like the most insane like addition ever. That's like deep cut content on there too. Like you can't say she's like an OC either, because she's like one of the main villains of like the whole series. Because apparently, you said like what? She's yeah, she's the sister of the sister of Black's wife. What is that? What is that, like a sister-in-law? That's it. That's what it's called. Oh crap. A storm of swords. Look at this. This guy managed to solo 100, floor 100 there with Kiara. It's impressive there. I bet you can probably do that really fast too, because I do not have any investment in Kiara. I don't like her very much, so it's like I'm not gonna bother with her. Even though they managed to give me her healing SR weapon, I got that. I think I've gotten it 5-5 twice. They've given me a lot of those copies over the years, and I just don't want to play her. At least it makes nice weapon fodder for Eleanor, though. That's something I like a lot. Is like, what is it? No, Kara is Black's sister, and Kurenai's mom is his wife. I gotta sort that out in my head, because, you know, they love fucking with that, I guess, the timeline and everything like that. Oh, I clipped through the jacket. Doo-doo-doo. That's right, I need to get my thing out of the freezer. Yeah, I love when my drinks are partially frozen. Damn, that got cold fast. Oh no, the truck escape song. Alright, now we gotta change the music. This is the second time I've heard Aquatic Mind in the last like 30 minutes. We gotta switch it to Team Dark Side. Aquatic Mind, motherfucker! I remember there's a picture of K-Day out there, like she's just wearing a regular ass dress and she's like heavily pregnant or something. And I thought to myself, like, man, who is that? Because she looks a lot like Kurenai. It's like, lo and behold, it is Kurenai's mom. Running like it's a ball game. Gotta find this disc 2 somewhere here. There we go. Radical Highway. I need to change that back. Just what kind of riz has K-Day got going on to put the charm the pants off of Mr. Black? Though I don't know, Mr. Black has always been the, you know, thinking with the lower type of head before he thinks of anything else type of leader. I wonder, did he pick Ingrid because of her ability, or did he pick her because she's so pretty? I can only imagine what the end of RPGX is going to look like. It's already insane enough as it is. You're now reminding me that Grand Blue Fantasy is going to turn, like, I think 10 years old next year, or I think it turned 10 this year. Because, man, that is a game that they're not even close to, well, they're getting closer to, quote-unquote, finishing the main story, because Cygames has now made so much money that they can actually have the other titles stand on their own. Because that game was so successful. No, Darth Neo, you need to find a way to integrate Fuma into it somehow. Because he's always got to have his gross little fingers in this some way. Yeah, defeating the brain players, that's perfect. Uh-oh, I got hit by the Riz strike or something. Now my shit's reversed. Incorporeal sword. Oh, that's good. I actually caught her on the back of that one. Good, he didn't need to be in Go-Go. He didn't need to be in Go-Go in the first place. That's good. Nice and cold. The Futurama ending. That's how Eastbound and Down ended too. It was all ending of Eastbound and Down is where it's the memoir of Kenny Powers, and he's just writing that while he's gonna go out and have lunch with his grandchildren or something. I never expected the ending, and it feels like they just wanted to get it over with for the most part. And honestly, I can't blame them. That's 4 seasons of really good TV. Look at that upskirt action. Lina don't care though. Change your clothes again. This is actually one of the Race Queen outfits I don't like. At least the default color is so bright, and they have the reflective texture on her skin. And then black. This is 466, so we have to change colors again. They have brought back and canceled Futurama, I think 3 times at this point. So I don't even know if it's actually is it back to stay or something or what? It's so hard to tell from anymore. When I hear that it's back, I think is it true? Is it gonna actually stick around this time? What makes me wonder. Now we get to use red Lina, which is my favorite color setup ever. It's so fun. It's so fun. It's so good too. Because we're gonna need to use it on 100. It was all a vision. It's all a dream. Okay, see you later there, Darth Neo. Man, Lina just doesn't give a fuck. She's got her whole ass out there. I gotta say, it's one of the better Race Queen costumes. I just don't like the default color it comes in. Because Lina's best costume is always going to be her Ingrid friendship costume. That is the best. I wish you could get different costumes for different characters. I would love for Ingrid to wear Lina's outfit. It just seems like a missed opportunity to have swappable outfits with other characters. For the most part, though, you guys see any other shows? Because speaking of Futurama and Eastbound and Down, the thing I've watched most recently has had to be the Sonic 2 movie. That is a movie I was like, I wanted to go see that in theaters, but I'm like, nah. I haven't actually wanted to go to the theater in like years. I never really felt there was like a reason to me go like, yeah, I want to go. No. I got out the movie and I'm gonna sit down and watch it. I was pleasantly surprised about it. It's kind of dumb, but it's the kind of dumb I expect out of, you know, a Sonic movie. I wouldn't have had it any other way. Jim Carrey, of course, giving it 110,000% as a good old Robotnik. He's not like, you know, being the Mask, but he's certainly being the most corny villain you can be possible, and I like it a lot. I think the movie's like 2 hours long or something. It's a pretty solid length I didn't expect out of it, because I think the first movie is like 90 minutes. When I was in like high school and stuff like that, I liked going to the theaters and watching the movies in the summer because it's always like super hot outside, and the best place to go is in the afternoon to the movies because nobody's there and you can just sit there in the air conditioning and watch the movie. Like I'd go buy like a sandwich or something, put it in my pocket, go pay the $6 for the movie, and then sit in there for like 2 hours and like enjoy my food and have a good time. Now when I go to the movies, it's always expensive. Like, man, like years ago I would go there and it's like, you know, I'd even gripe and groan about the drinks being $4. The large drink being $4 was expensive. Now it's like $6.50, $7, and the tickets itself is like I think $10 or something like that. Even during the middle of the week, it's still like $8. It's like I can't be doing this, dude. And like I go to like the place where I went to go watch movies had the Subway in the same parking lot, so I'd go there, buy a foot long for like $8. It was like $8 or $9, and go in there, and it was great. I had a really good time in that. It was a nice way to spend an afternoon. Now I just go home and stream the movie when I'd go to the same Subway and go like drive home. because it's really hard for the theater company to beat the aspect of you pay $15-20 a month and you have access to several movies. You have access to a ton of movies, which is like the biggest proponent for streaming ever, which is like you get HBO Max and I'm able to watch, you know, I can watch the entire series The Sopranos and also other movies as well. That same, like, it costs like what, $10 to go see a movie once there. It's like, no thank you, I can't be doing this. Even when they have like matinee like half off Tuesdays or something, like I work on a Tuesday, I can't really do that anymore. Yeah, you don't need to wear pants at home. You can just slob around on the couch and have a really good time watching Sonic get hit in the face by Knuckles. Doctor, you've returned. Bring me my latte. Hi, Micah. Bye, Micah. Ooh, this is 75. I forgot about that. Come on, give me the points. I don't know. Not even Jim Carrey could have saved Mr. Popper's Penguins. I think that's the movie that really got him to stop acting for like the last 10 years. Because he did on other stuff before, like, you know, after Mr. Popper's Penguins, but it was like bit stuff. Because I was like, that movie came out and I think it like killed his career for the most part. Because now he's just like he still gets the funny man roles, but he's not going to get anything serious like, you know, The Truman Show or anything like that, or The Cable, or even dark comedies like The Cable Guy. Dude, everybody forgets about Mr. Popper's Penguins, but we got a special reward at school one day, and we got to watch Mr. Popper's Penguins. That was terrible. That's like one of the first, like, that's one of those like real imprinted type of memories you get when it's like, wow, like, you know, you never really could think like a movie could actually be bad. I think Mr. Jim Carrey was doing it just for the paycheck, because that's what it sure felt like. What is it? It's Jim Carrey doing his best Jim Carrey impression about living with penguins. I don't know how you could make that like, have you ever read the book Mr. Popper's Penguins? It's a book from like the 20s, and it's been, you know, like printed for. It's a children's book that's like written like, you know, it's going to be a children's movie. Except, you know, Mr. Popper's Penguins is a lot more fun because Mr. Popper is a very posh man, and he does very eccentric things in the book. I love layered sound effects. Yeah, it's really, really good. Mr. Popper is a very eccentric man, but I think they took that too literally by hiring Jim Carrey. They didn't need him in that movie. They could have used like Ben Stiller or something, and it would have actually had a better effect. My God, just hire Danny DeVito. I don't know what the hell was he doing at that time, anyways. Because that man was literally the Penguin from the Batman movies, and he's a great Penguin. And the thing is, Danny DeVito can do both drama and comedy. I guess they couldn't afford him at the time. Really? The first Green Lantern movie is terrible. Like, that's the Ryan Reynolds ones, isn't it? Man, that's such a long time ago too. I think that was like what, 2012, 2013? No, Mr. Popper's Penguins was like, it was like 2009, 2010. It's gotta be. See, there it goes again. That's why I have to turn down the game like so low, because they do this shit all the time. Like, they really don't have a way of like no peeking protection or something like that. Lina isn't actually that strong. It's just the fact that she crits so much and has the sword. She's got Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker, and crits all day, every day with it. So it makes her deal like 4 times as much damage. And by God, she maxes out the charge on it in like 1 attack. You're not wrong that the game could certainly do with a graphical overhaul. I managed to actually beat it and kill it, like probably 2 frames before that attack hit me. I think this game is now 5 years old at this point. It's using their version of Unity for the most part. I mean, they have obviously heavily edited it so it works on phones, and on pretty shitty phones too. But I don't know, I would never want to play this game on my phone. Like, I remember when I bought like my phone that was fun, like I actually started playing this game on my phone at when for the JP release. And man, it'll just start melting your phone. There's just so much going on in the first place that it just like annihilates it. Like, by God, it never stands a chance. Yeah, this game released in December of 2019. I remember that because it released, like, I think, just right before Christmas. I was very excited when this game released because when they showed the footage of Asagi, it looked dead on to what the art style for Kagami's is. Which is something I really was not I'm not very much a fan of Asagi's renewal because it takes away the very sharp and hard look that Kagami has for all the characters they design. So it's like, when they took that away, I was like, it's like the last vestige of the original game for me. You make my favorite character look like even worse. That's probably how people who are really diehard fans of Asuka are when they got her renewal, and it was one thing when they changed Asagi to have more softer features instead of looking like a more mature lady that she actually is. They made Asuka look like she went from like being 17 years old to like 10. I mean, some people can enjoy that, but I certainly can't. To some extent, at least. Because at the right angle, it makes her look really cute. Others, it just makes her look like, why? I would probably need to get a new phone in the future, since today I was watching like some videos, and I've had to charge my phone twice today. Which is obviously a bit of a chore. My battery's getting a little old. And also, I think my phone runs of like Android 9 or 10 or something like that. So a lot of apps aren't supported anymore for my phone. I'd have to load in like an updated version of the software. But even then, like, my phone won't run it in the first place. The thing is, it's like, that's what I don't like about upgrading phones. It's like, man, all my shit still works. It wasn't going like with my Galaxy S4 that I had used for years, and it actually just legitimately couldn't keep up anymore. Like, I'd replaced the battery 3 times. I couldn't get any more updates for it. None of the apps would run. Well, here, I see it like this. Shisui already has a limited costume set and a limited weapon, and Shisui is already an extremely strong character. She doesn't need to worry about that sort of stuff. I want them to do something with Sora. I really do. Oh, it's Ann Rose. Hi, Ann Rose. I'm probably gonna die. I didn't expect that to work, but here we go. Good job. I'm not even using the Asuka supporter either. I'm just whooping her ass. Change your clothes there, hon. You look cold. Let's warm you up a little with something else. What's the custom? Nah, I was trying to mess around with that. I didn't get anything good. Secret gift Lina. I love the secret gift costumes. That's like some of the best that they've ever made. I'm a spy. Oh, we're gonna be fighting Lapis and Spinel. That is a legitimately difficult fight. $419,000 per critical, and that skill hits like 10 times too. That's why it fucking one-shot Ann Rose. Oh, I got the slow death. Yeah, I just can't really, I can't stand playing obsolescence. It's like, man, my stuff still works. In fact, it works great. Well, no, it works great for what I use it for, because I don't push it hard, I don't do anything crazy with it. I don't try to overclock my phone or anything like that, or make it to where it's like not able to do anything else. Oh yeah, Kakanji Sword's really cool. Like this whole setup for Lina is like amazing. Ooh, yeah, supporting me. Oh, it's these two bitches? Okay. Do I have my ult? No. So I love Lina so much. She's the fastest. All they need to do is just like give everybody like 20% faster speed. Look how much fun it is to play Lina. She's a good character. She's good. That's all you have to do. Just make everybody like 20% faster. That's literally all it takes. See, I make them look easy here, but any other character that has to like fight them in a regular state, they're pretty fucking hard. Because if you don't DPS them down fast enough or like stun them, Yuffie heals all the time, and then Sophie gets buffed beyond belief and deals like 10,000 damage a hit. I think this is the... No, this is just this is the enemy waves. I mean, it's one thing to have like your skills to buff your speed and everything like that. I just wish there was like, just even give like 10% more speed that you can innately like make it an awakening skill. There you go. Just have it like be like they could even make it really expensive too. And even then it would still be one of the most desired things in the whole game. Because it's just permanent haste. It'd be on the same level as people yelling like, you need to make sure you equip racial Nagatamas level up racial and all damage. It makes such an immense amount of difference. Hi Heaviko. Heaviko's really cool too. Oh, good job there. Good job, Boner Boy. You tried. You certainly did. This one's gonna be rough. I can feel it. No, I need late bloomer for that. Um, yeah. Since now you can actually fight Lapis and Spinel in a place that doesn't have like their damage hampered to beyond belief, or their defense hampered beyond belief, so you can actually, they're actually very, very threatening. That's a new sound effect. Come on, target her. Excellent. Lapis, no, get out of there. No, you're getting. Oh. Okay. I knew it was gonna be trouble, because every time I get in that mission, it's like it's either one of those that goes really well or it just goes horrendously. Because it's like you have to keep them separated. Lilim again. Well, here's the thing. Lina herself requires the speed up sword. She actually doesn't require it. She's still really good without it. It's just that the innate speed boost and critical damage makes her seem explosively powerful. But here's the thing though, like you don't even need the speed up sword. You can use the healing sword that Asagi gets, and then since Lina hits like 40 or 50 times a combo, she's invincible. Legitimately one of like the most versatile characters in the whole game. Was there ever a bow in Metal Gear Solid? Like, could you use like a crossbow or something? It seems like something they used in like Peace Walker or whatever. Oh, this is the set of missions where you have to fight Kurenai at the end. And Kurenai, once again, is extremely annoying. Like, if you've been collecting Asagi weapons or stuff for Anros, like, she is like she is the lady of the hour. I like to see her just have like a compound bow like Rambo, and she can use that. Because Sora just fires arrows like a machine gun all day, every day. I don't like that they wasted her potential. She's a really cute character. But here's also the thing with Lina as well. Lina's the late bloomer finisher skill makes her is like one of the most perfect safety tools in the game, because it's a finisher attack, that puts you behind the enemy, so they have to turn around, and it puts you at the furthest enemy, so you can pick off stragglers. It is one of the best skills for that, because it's like it's Sasage's double tap dodge skill, which puts her behind enemies all the time. That's something like it's a very underrated feature of it, because a lot of stuff just puts you in front of the enemy or just drops them straight above their head wherever they're looking at. No, this actually has positionals. And even then in red, she just like inflicts the debuffs or she inflicts defense down, I think in 2 different formats. So everything is like insane and much weaker all the time. Speed up again. We're on the final approach. I think this is 95, isn't it? 94. Kurenai's next. Doing it again with the stinking sound effects. God, it does not need to be that loud. It ain't that fucking serious. I wonder if Sora's gonna ever get into costumes, Cardinal Boy. That's my win. Ugh, it's loud. This game is on like 30% volume too. And if I knew I had it any higher, it would just like blowing my fucking ears out. Oh, he's in invincible form. I just wasted theirs. Shit. Oh, you ain't so tough there, bud. Bro got beat up by the help staff. There she is. Look at that. Does he actually get to face Kirara and Kurenai? Alright. This is going to be tough. It's like the one thing that I like about Lina is that she can develop particles really, really quickly. But in this case, like, we're going for like the hard hitter version of her build, so she doesn't get to build any particles in the first place. Got her. Good. King of the Death Race would probably be someone's favorite boss from like another game. But since he's trapped in here and gets treated as a joke, it's a very sad experience for him. Let's change that. Yeah, there we go. Funky Road. And it's not Funky Road, but it's... Help me, I'm dying! That's not the killer. Oh, Nagi, please! Gotcha! Damn, girl, you are a menace everywhere you go. Because those projectiles just don't give a fuck. And they hit twice. I guess I would say she's such a menace even in her like regular, when you fight her on like her regular the event, but that she had the Yojimbo costume for, because she can just knock you out of your attack from like 20 feet away. Like, that's the best thing about Nagi too. It's like she can be so aggressive from a distance. It's like playing good Asuka or something like that. Almost there. 3 more floors. She's gonna bowl them right over. Mistress of Darkness and the Masked Taimanin. I do like that they actually got to use the VR bosses outside of VR. In fact, this is probably where they should have been introduced in the first place. Because now they can't use that design either, because that's what Asuka uses right there. They pull from her old design. Asuka, I don't want that one. I want... Shit! Good. Because whenever you use Stella, it ignores defense, I think. Pretty sure. Yeah, it's not affected by critical rate reduction. So this is actually a pretty solid thing to take in Tower, well, in VR at least, because you can just still do like 4 million damage criticals and one-shot a boss with it. Because I think that's the supporter on the event right now. Is a supporter everybody needs. Super good. Okay. Asuka is not very tall either in the first place. I think she's like just a little over 5 foot, like 5'1" or something. And Lina, yeah, you like right there. Lina's very short too. Though I do think that's just like average height for Asian women or something. I say that if she's like based in the real world. Of course, Lina herself is always based, but I don't think she conforms to the standard of being as tall as a regular Asian woman, who's generally like 4'8" to 5 feet tall. Scary. That's not good. Oh, she got hit during the animation. It's just like really fighting the machines. Good, I can actually get it off now. Oh, fantastic. Easy peasy. And now the end of the road. We are gonna switch, not her. I will do that. I will actually take a damage hit for not using her. Specifically for the consistency of using White Feather Asuka. But of course, we've gotta wear the costume. We've gotta wear role model Hell Knight. Only the coolest kids have this costume. Have I been using the wrong one the entire time? That's what I thought. Okay. It'll certainly be slower, but it's certainly worth doing. Mr. Black. Blood, it is I, Mr. Black. Oh, there he goes. Now he's got a defense boost. There we go. Got rid of him. Now you can start the loop. Perfect, we'll have enough for the ult. Come on, darn it. Oh, you ain't so tough there, bud. You only just did 9,000 damage to me. Done. Good job, Lina. Another successful 90 seconds. That certainly could have been faster, but hey, she won again. She's always gonna win because she's the best. Like her and Ingrid, best of friends. That's really good. Also, Sora's like, what, 14 years old, dude? Come on. Nice. We'll do one last run of this. We'll go to 100 to show off what she's like over there. Actually, yeah, this is exactly what I used, so it's back. It's like she's wearing nothing at all. Show that off real quick. Alright, that... Wow, she's still at 103,000 power and still... And is still able to do that. It's dying Apocalypse. Give her health. Take that off of Ingrid. Actually, wait a minute. Is that still equipped to Lapis? No, it's not. That's what I was wondering, because I usually put that on her. Does Oboro actually want him in the first place? She more or less seems like she's just excited to be there, and it's like just to do work. That's better. We can use that for her. I don't exactly want to give that up for Hebiko though. Where is Furfur? Yeah, I went and did this so I could actually get some copies of her to hopefully one day get it. I actually got 2 copies out of the exchange for her, so I was very happy about that. Can't even use it correctly, which sucks, but I still have it in the first place. Let's do this so Astaroth has more health. Supernova. Lina got the adoption paperwork so Ingrid could be her mom. Mom, please. We have to go to school. No, you don't have to go to school. You can be a Hell Knight just like your old buddy Ingrid. Alright. That should be it. Now don't blink and you'll miss Queen Kanaloa. Real slow version. Alright, that's fine. Lapis is gonna die. Yep. That's how it typically goes on this fight. Particle destruction too. I didn't check that. I knew it. As soon as I stepped in that puddle, I knew it was going to be over for her. Split. Ah, that sucked. They both died, which is really bad. Astaroth always survives, though, because she just stays out of the way. But over in that part, those range immune enemies, they are still able to be hit by status effects. So you can burn them, and they still deal, and they can still get hurt. Because even dealing 0 damage for some reason makes the burn still deal like I don't know, 250,000 to 500 damage. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bug, I tell you what. Look, even in the worst of runs, Astaroth still does a majority of the damage. Like, it's not a joke with how much power she has behind her. So when they said they're going to do a rebalance of her, it doesn't surprise me one bit. Well, no, they're going to address the bug regarding her supernova. And then do rebalances to this. And you know what? She'll still probably be one of the strongest characters to use in this because she stays away from everybody and still deals 40 million damage because why not? Let's do this. Let's end it on a Hell Knight note. See if we can actually get Ingrid to do it. Because I'm pretty sure she can. What is basics in behavior? That sounds like an introductory course to for psychology. There we go. Because they're spread out all over the place. I can't exactly get rid of that. Because I don't want to get rid of that from Astaroth so she can actually maintain the damage so we can keep surviving. Actually, let's give Lapis... wow, oh, that's right, because we took it off of hers. Let's give her the... Where's Sora's friend at? Because there she is. Igawasakia. Defensive boost. We don't really need her to deal a lot of damage. We just need her to stay alive. How much money have I spent? I don't actually know. I just... There's certainly, well, I've been playing since December of 2019, so this is just stuff accumulated over time. But to say I haven't spent is, well, I'd be lying if I didn't. I want to use that. No, they don't move very fast anyways. Even then, I still don't have everything. Kadishisui. This is next week. I could use Mita Haruka. It's like the easiest slot ever. She's not human, so she doesn't get the benefit from it. Damn, can't use Gwendolyn. Can't use Kurenai. Weapon skills. Tokiko's actually surprisingly good for this boss too. Like, she's really helpful in most aspects because she just applies a gigantic debuff to everybody. It's 4 seconds though. She can't keep it up. Yeah, sure, why not? This deals slow reduction, so we'll switch that. Like I'm telling you, man, it just comes with time. A lot of it does in the first place. Oh, I still need to mess with Ingrid. Because I need to put on Arabella. And we switch for Kiara. Where's Bad Hawk? Do I want to use that? Now I use the Ignis skin. Shazoom! It's like the one time you can actually see Ingrid smile. It never happens. But yes, we are using the boost for this though, because it is a very rough fight. I would like to win. You more or less just need more characters in the first place. Suppress down. That hurts Astaroth a lot. Boy, that sure doesn't get old. That sure isn't loud and annoying. Yep, there you go. Thanks, Ingrid. I think that's actually faster than... Yeah, 23 seconds. That's how retardedly strong Ingrid is. I didn't even get a single heat blast off. I took damage, and it's generally the most unoptimal version of the fight ever. Well, also Kenaloa didn't get the buff effect. So it was like, yep, that's it. That's how you play Ingrid. You just sit there and wait for things to be over. That's why I like her so much. Ignis makes it so that, like, well, actually, if you get a really good start, you can get the Evil Heat Blast to center on Queen Kenaloa. It will make 5 stacks instantly, and you can proc Evil Heat Blast. You can proc Ignis 4 times, and I think each time Ignis Blast explodes, it's like somewhere in the neighborhood of 500,000-600,000 damage. So that's effectively like she did 39 million damage right there. So that's, she does 4 blasts of those, so that's like 2 million damage. That's about 10%. I don't want to, no, that's not 10%. I want to say, let's just, she does 40 million damage. She does 40 million damage with then 2. I want to say 10%. Look at me having to whip out the calculator to do basic math. Wow, okay. I guess that's what? 20%? No, that can't be 20%. Having more characters does this. The points up here, the WP stuff, you get 1 point on each Star of Awakening and 2 points each level. So I think that's what, like 3, it's like 9 or, it's something like what? It's either 9 or 12 points you get for leveling from 75 to 81, and then you get, I think, 12 more from doing it from 81 to 87. But the trick for it to do is to make it more efficient, is like you get like 3 something from like leveling from 75 to 77. It's much more cost efficient to have the characters level from 75 to 77. They will have access to awakening skills, and you'll be gaining a lot more points for cheaper. I don't have any more 75 characters, at least not until What's-Her-Face releases. But like the resources for this cost like a ton. They're really expensive. The game gives you a lot of mats to do that, and it also kind of railroads you into wanting to do like level it to 81 immediately, because they show the level pack to you and everything like that. So you want to go like, oh man, I gotta level now so I can get her to 81, which is actually not a very good decision. Granted, if you only have like 3 characters or something, yeah, it's like, it's fine. But over time you accumulate more and more characters. Like we have 32 characters now. And every one of them at 81 will give you like, what, 12 something points? I think I have, it's over 400 points now because of it. Like, even just getting like to, but just getting like a third of 400, so it's like, there you go. The AP pots from, it's like, they're really good, but it's more or less like this. This stuff makes all the difference in the world. I kind of wish you were able to like toggle it on and off so you could actually do proper testing, because in order to reset it, it costs, there we go, 394. So I have that plus 14, so that's 408. With everybody, well, not everybody at 81, there's some at 87. But it's 400 gems, it's a whole 10 roll to reset them. So it's really expensive. Yeah, you can leave them sitting around at 75 and just be fine. But 77 is the most cost-efficient way to really just elevate the entire power level of your team. On the cheap, at least. Because VR is designed to give you all the materials to give your characters from 81 to 87. Through the shards, and then not to mention, oh, we gotta get this. Not to mention the shards that you get from like secret missions and stuff. I mean, they already gave you sweep tickets in the first place, so you can just clear them out instantly. Where are those things at? Those level up packs though are honestly like the best dollar for gem value in the whole game. And them being limited doesn't surprise me one bit. Like I think I've gotten several of those, and I'm still trying to work off the AP from like the ones from like months ago. They're hellaciously good for what they are, because I think they give you character tokens, they give you materials, they give you the box for this, the ones you can select, which is honestly really strong in the first place. They also give you this. They give you the emblem kit so you can choose it yourself. And it takes like 15 to level from 75 to 81. So they give you just enough. Because I think they cost like... And they give you what, like... It's like 25, 27, 3,300, and then 3,300. They're really, really nuts. Like whenever a new character releases, like it's the thing to do. Oh, we gotta do the daily quest, that's right. Oh, that's perfect. Oh. Oh, it's Ingrid. We get to fight her again today. Well, I accidentally started the quest and she doesn't have anything equipped. I mean, that's the whole point of them, is they're just massive FOMO all the time. They're designed to make you feel like, oh man, I gotta get it right now. Yeah, I mean, you honestly do, because they only have like a 3-hour window. And they are always known to be the best value. Like, it's not a joke. But it certainly is annoying when you can't get them again, which really sucks. Thankfully, I have a bunch of characters saved that can retroactively activate them again if I really want them. Anything with that? No. Miss Asiago. I still find it hard to believe we're at, like, I think 32 characters now, or we're going to be. Still remember when it was 3. This game really has come a long way. It survived the ending of English RPGX, Go-Go, the Taimanin card game you can get for Steam, RPGX in the first place. This has really carved its own way. I'm very proud of it for that. Machines. Oh, Miss Emily. Because most gacha games end up dying within like the first 3 years of their lifespan. This has managed now to go on 4 years. In fact, it's actually managed to dismantle its original JP server and go solely for global, which I find fantastic. This game is now without its share of problems, and it really fucking sucks. That too, it has managed to maintain its identity at the same time. It's its own specific thing while existing alongside the vulgarity of RPGX. It's quite honestly another falling up situation for Lilith and Inner Brain Games. So, how about them Wuthering Waves, right? That is a game I kept up with the development for, because the original creators of that game are the guys who make Punishing Gray Raven. That's probably another one of my favorites. It's another one of my favorite gachas to play, because it mechanically feels really good. I don't like exactly I don't like that they're taking stuff away from Punishing Gray Raven to work on Wuwa. But it is their new project, and it's already gaining a lot of traction. But I mean, it's just Genshin again, and I don't want to play Genshin. It's one of those aspects where it's like, man. What, you don't want your new version of Lee? His fourth version? I thought everybody's supposed to like him. Well, everybody actually does like Lee. He's very good. He's a good boy. How about our 5th Lucia? Don't forget about my Empyrean Liv. My Empyrean Liv strats, which is still like the best fire unit in the game. I missed getting Alpha, which makes me really sad, because that's the one character that got me in the game in the first place. But even then, even after not getting Alpha, I'm not actually too sad about it, because the story is actually really engaging. I actually like the sci-fi setting. That's just how good Empyrean Liv is in the first place. She's that good. Even with poor gear, poor stats, Like if you don't even have that, like I barely have her leveled at all, and she just like she carries the whole fucking game on her back. She is legitimately crazy good. I like Nanami a lot too, especially Mech Nanami, because that's oh, it's so much fun. The fact alone that like Mech Nanami has the timing based attack, and like she has the heat gauge that's based on your whether you hit the correct timing window for your attack to gain the special explosion boost, is like that is awesome. I wish more games had that in general. The timing based attack thing that weren't just Devil May Cry. You can even do timing stuff with not Alpha. No, whatever. Did I clear the event yet? No. Where's Lina? Oh, she doesn't have redeeming gear on. All of Lee's units are just fun in the first place. Like that basic, like even the basic 4-star version you get like at the beginning of the game that they give you is like, that's a really cool unit. And then you can even give their like, you can even upgrade him a little bit to help keep up and, well, it helps shore up, you know, like him being a starter unit and everything. I like that a lot too. I like that they made, what is it? They have upgrade materials so they can actually keep cheap free units somewhat usable. There are not enough gacha games where you can, where the F2P option is like actually gets real support. But I guess with Wuwa, they certainly they know where the money is, and they certainly are gonna go after it. Wuthering Heights. Uniframes are like in that really weird spot. They probably had something they wanted to do with them, but they didn't really have such a good implementation of them. Like, it's weird because I have Haikma, and it's like she too is a uniframe, but it's like there's like what, 6 uniframes in the game? That's it? Haikma, I think, is the most recent one of those in the first place, and then, even then I don't even need to do anything with her because I have better ice units in the first place. And even then, like, I have ice units that don't get a massive penalty for simply existing. Like, they're meant for one game mode, but that's just like one thing you do. Bam, get that. I wonder what they're going to do with Wuthering Waves, though. That is certainly one to watch for, because I don't know if they're going to cause a snowbreak situation where that game was like on the brink of death, and now it's suddenly come back and is a major contender against, you know, the big showstopper companies. bro, all they had to do was just, you finally can have sex in the gacha games. That's it. You can finally do it. Like, I had looked at some, like, very old, like, when Snowbreak first came out, I was like, oh. It reminded me of this game called League of Maidens. That game sucks. It really does. So it felt the same way just to play. It was a really shitty treadmill and everything like that. It had no surprise. It did not surprise me to hear that, like, they were considering closing their doors unless they did a desperate maneuver like this. And lo and behold, now they're back. Granted, I don't exactly like that when they have to, you know, yes, sex sells. I'm playing a game that exuberates that immensely, but it's like they had to sell out. They had to sell out. Because it's like, because I think they were probably trying to do something like Girls Frontline, which is a very serious game. It's way too serious for its own good. That or like Arknights or something, where those games were it was trying to be serious like those, but sure didn't have the hook that those games do by being very compelling in their characters and what's going on thematically. So now they had to do that, which kind of makes me sad whenever I see something like that happen, because they had an idea that they sold and pitched, it got made, and then it turns out they mismanagement and it didn't do very well. But hey, who doesn't like pretty ladies? A lot of people, apparently. Loud. Oh. Ugh, sneezing. Good lord. Oh. That's one thing about that the faceless guy though. There's only so much you can do. It's like with it. It's limiting in its unlimited potential. That's literally saying nothing at all, actually. But I mean in the sense that's like, let's take a good old Blue Archive for instance. Mr. Sensei actually is you know, Mr. Faceless main character, but he actually has a lot going on for him. People care about the characters in there. And the Sensei character in the game actually has a reason to care for them. One more. Something I always find very endearing about Nikki or something, about Nike or whatever. That game is, I think it has tried like the last 4 times to create its own Asuka and Karen from, you know, everybody knows who Asuka and Karen are from Blue Archive. They've been trying like 4 times to create their version of that with the same kind of, you know, popularity. But they have yet to do it. Because I think I've heard more things said about like why am I saying I wanted to say Owari, but it's like no, that's actually what Owari is also created for Zerlane to cash in on Asuka and Karen. She combines them both together actually. But let's see. It's just so funny every time I hear like whenever you see like a costume for like Bay or something like that, and the brown and black girl from the 2 bunny girls that they created in response to Asuka and Karen, and then those other ones. What is it? People just call them Asuka and Karen at home because that's what they are. They are deliberately created specifically to copy them, and you can feel it. Because if I remember correctly in the game, like, they are thirsty as fuck, too. Like, my goodness, those girls are like, good lord, they are just parched in a desert of like, Commandant Dick. Which is kind of like misses the thing for like Asuna and Karen, who, you know, they love their sensei, but they certainly are, they're cute and they work hard. They're even sisters too. I didn't know that. Wow, that's fun. I just could not get into the gameplay for Nikki. It's another one of those games where I have to sit around and wait. Like, I just meet the power threshold for like 90% of the game's content, and it's like, alright, there we go, that's it. I just auto it and let it happen. Because my account has, it's got Red Hood on it. So that was kind of like the weirdest, because I got in there when like she first released. And it's like, I don't want to play it because it's like, I don't exactly care for what happens thematically in the story. Because it did not hook me. Because I hear it's one of those despair Kino type of stories. Where it's like, oh, it's so good. Oh my god, I love this dystopian sci-fi story. It's amazing. It mostly just shows how hard up humanity is for a quality sci-fi story. And it makes me think that it's like when, you know, if they took like the sci-fi story for Nikki and tried to publish it as like a manga series or like a book, it wouldn't get picked up. But thanks to the serialized nature of gacha, they're able to put that into a fiscal, make it a fiscal solution to a problem of players. So they can just drip feed you the entire thing and you can write it as you go. It's like, you know, I can enjoy myself some despair. There's only so much I want to see of it, though. Which is probably why people are like, Blue Archive is such a breath of fresh air. Because it's an actually happy... It's a sort of... It's not all happy, fun, and games all the time. The girls are just legitimately enjoyable to be around for the way they design their characters. I do not like actually playing Blue Archive at all. It's just like a Zerlane. It sucks to play because it's another idler. You just sit there and it slowly plods along. You meet the power threshold, and I don't do anything. I just sit there and wait. That's not the kind of games I like to play. That's why I like punishing Grey Raven so much, is because you have to do the actions. Yes, you do still have to meet the power quota, but you can actually do things through skill. Also, I did not play Nikki on my phone. I played it on my computer because I did not want my phone to explode from how hard it would drive it. And since it's like there's no controller support for it, because for some reason they don't have that. And you gotta I gotta click things on the screen. It's like, I can't leave this alone. I mean, I can leave it alone, but it's like, I don't want to do this. It's like when I was playing Last Origin. Last Origin is like Azure Lane where you can leave it alone and it does it for you. That game is also like Thirst Core Central. I got kind of tired of that after a while. It's like, yes, I understand I'm the last human male on Earth. I must repopulate the entire Earth. I'm like, I got it. I got it. The first 60 times I've seen this. It's getting old. It's like, it's, you know, like how they have isekai. That's a very common trope for anime and manga these days. Yeah, the last man on Earth is the most common gacha trope, I feel. That are your new transfer student school. I'm a new transfer student school. I do enjoy that AT reruns past things very often because it lets me bolster my my characters for when I want to do VR stuff. Like getting a second copy of Stella is absolutely huge because it's 30% more damage that's totally free. It's like, it's one of the best supporters in the game for a reason. Like, everybody uses this because it's so good. And it's in a color that like a lot of characters like using. Grey Raven also reruns a lot of stuff too, and since it has the lag from the China servers, you get to actually see what's coming up and know what to pull for. It's not even that far behind either. Because I remember when Alpha released in Asia, I was like, I think the game is what, 6-something months behind. So when Alpha finally releases in like February, I was like ready. But then I forgot to play because like I didn't play the game for a while because I was busy with work and other stuff, and just wanted to downsize all my stuff to just play AT. I'm always on the lookout for something that's actually nice and fun to play that isn't an auto battler. I don't want to play Genshin. That's something that's Genshin I just don't like, is I don't like the way it looks. It's just every design is so busy. It's like, let's calm down. Everything looks like an ornate cultivation, an ornate cultivation post or something. Like, my goodness, it's enough. I don't like the model for Genshin either. Like when I see something, like when I saw gameplay for Zenless Zone Zero, I was like, I could probably get down with this. Yeah, it's exactly like Genshin's way too vicious with its rates. It's like when I was playing Fate Grand Order again. That game is fucking terrible with it. But people, that's a game people stay for the story, and that's actually it's quite good. It's a game I will just sit there and like look up stuff for, and like read about it because it's actually really interesting. That is a game where they took the core cast, worked on them so much, and people care about them a lot. That is a wonderful example of they made sure that you want to play the game to actually see what happens next. Because the gameplay sucks, and also in Fate Grand Order, that's why you buy. That's why not buy, but that's why you get the automation program, so it automatically farms. Anything else? And it doesn't take very much to figure out like what a good supporter is, because they usually have like very strong universal effects. It's like Cyaneo. Cyaneo is like one of the most premier demon supporters in Blue. Blue has only in recent years been able to get boosts in to have boosts for damage in Blue, which is supposed to be the turtling type of color, is quite a godsend. It's why Onigumo is such a coveted supporter, because it's just free damage against demons. One of the most common enemies you face. It's probably like 50% of the time we're fighting demons, and doing 44% more damage to them is like always worth it. Always. Same with Arabella. 40% more damage to bosses in a color that, like, as of late, many characters have been finding more and more uses for, especially Astaroth. It's perfect. But I just can't do that. I can't do the Genshin Shuffle, man. Like, my cousin plays that, like other people I know play it. I'm like, I don't know how you guys do it. It just doesn't feel very good to play in the first place. But yes, Miku, a lot of these supporters in the first place are mostly free. They're like supporters you find, like they get through like events and such, and they're very, very good. In fact, like the event supporters are usually the most core ones in the game. Like Mistress of Darkness, this is a supporter that's that was free for the most part. I think we got it through like an event. Same with the weapon. Of course, the game isn't without its share of really, really important limited supporters. That is for sure. Like Torajiro, that's another supporter who's also really good. That's a really good supporter. Because it's finally damage dealt to all enemies by 30% in green. Another hard-hitting color. You can actually take this to VR and not worry about crits. Let's see. Another really core supporter. This one's also really important. Shujo Nano is I like hers a lot. She's got the goth lolly thing going on. She's got the gun blade. She's got the gun buster, which is the gun blade from like Final Fantasy going on. She's oh, I forget what that class is called in Final Fantasy 14 that uses the gun blade. Those are always one of my favorites when I would like to play every once in a while. Like, this is like one of the best supporters in the game, because it's just like, it's flat damage and it's also critical damage, not to mention defense and a nuke. It's effectively Kaoru, but all-rounder. In fact, you can use this with Kaoru and lo and behold, you suddenly are dealing millions of damage, no problem. This is also, well, he's not what's it called? He's just a regular gacha supporter, but his effects actually work in VR really well. Who's another really core free supporter. This one's really good for busting down. This is a supporter we got from an event that you take to somewhere like Demon VR, and you just blow them down within the first 10 seconds. Because it's a 50% defense hit. And it hits everybody. Same with her. She did more damage for humans. Let's see. Let's combine all my Stellas. Gunbreaker, that's it. Gunbreaker is a very, very cool class. I wish more games could have classes or effects like Gunbreaker, so I didn't have to play Final Fantasy XIV again. I really don't want to play that game again. I wanted Thancred's jacket when I was playing with it's not Dawnbreaker or whatever it's called. No, Dawnbreaker's from Dota. It's the expansion pack before Endwalker. That one. Because Thancred gets that cool duster jacket and it's like, it's wicked. This is another core supporter. I think they've run it twice. I can't remember. Let's actually level up Stella. Come on, give me a boost. That's perfect. Let's see. Granny Province is another supporter. She's been reran. I don't think she's been reran yet, but she's another really good one because it's 30% more free range damage. Sasawatchi Ichika for more melee damage. That's just good to generally have in the first place. Shari is really good too. They reran her before because now I have two maxed out copies, and you just use her for like human defense when you're working on fighting something like Tower or Human VR. And there's been many times where I've actually just straight up just used Sharia to tank hits from Mass Taimanin. Dancer Shizuru is really specific because it's a buff extension. Let's see, it's a buff extender. So you can use that on the whole party, and it increases fortitude. And it's like fortitude itself is like, you know, it has a chance to block damage, I think. I forget that's how it goes. Block a partial amount of damage. It puts the speed up there faster, but you need like 5 copies to make this work. Also, the active is it's supposed to be like Shisui's active, where it's like you recover max HP, but you don't get the defense boost, but you have to activate this within 5 seconds of dying. So you have to know when you have to die, activate it, and then you'll be able to survive it. It doesn't automatically activate like Shisui's, which is automatically worse. But the speed boost, this and all this, it's nice. It's made for essentially for Shizuru because she can give buffs to other people. This is also an extremely limited supporter, and it's essentially made for Shizuru. Not too many people can use it. Maybe, no, anybody who can grant a buff, like Spinel can give them to herself. So she can do this so she can keep chaining the buffs by herself. This is a passive effect too. And since she's suppressed, she gets increased fortitude too. So anybody who can buff themselves a lot gets a lot of value out of that, but it's like, I have had this since the day it released, and I've used it probably 10 times. You really don't need to use it a lot. especially on someone like Spinel, because now now Spinel can give the whole party suppress, not suppress, but speed boost. It's like this is effectively renders it useless. You'd only be using it for this, and there's better effects you can have. But I don't want to play Final Fantasy XIV again because it's like I don't want to do any more MMO stuff. It's such a slog for me. For the most part, I understand it's always like it's the middle-aged man type of like game because it's always so slow and it's plotting. You can do it when you come home from work. But it's like the last thing I want to do when I come home from work is get more frustrated with idiots. Because it's like, yeah, I did that. I work in a place that has a lot of drunk people and that act really stupid all the time. I don't really need to start herding cats at home, you know? Like if I want utility, I would just straight up go for defense. Because defense is always valuable in VR. Like Omine Nana here. Protect character damage taken decreased by 40%. That's just flat damage cut right there. And not to mention that we already have it on Lapis, who has the highest defense in the game. She's going to survive pretty much a lot more hits. That's a lot more valuable to me from what I'm doing. Like for instance VR. That's a lot more valuable than extending my buffs for 3.5 seconds. Because that maxes out at 4 seconds. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. The weapon, though, for Shizuru from that is her best weapon. Because it's a 40% buff. And then you can use critical attack resistance, which kind of doesn't matter after a certain point in VR. It's like, that's fine. This is better, though. Because you can now make everybody do 40% more damage. In fact, it actually makes her do 40% more damage when using Rose Rondo. Because it activates, because the buff applies during when you start the skill. So that means all hits of Rose Rondo get applied with the buff. And if anybody else is near her and are inside the AoE, they get 40% more damage too. Sometimes that's Astaroth, and she does a lot more damage for some reason. I couldn't know why, because 40% more damage on anybody that ever existed is great. This is another core supporter too. Critical has obviously fallen off, but critical damage in blue is like some of the most valuable thing in the world. Like Reina right here is like 30% more damage on critical on ranged attacks. I think almost 50% of the cast now is ranged damage. So that's like perfect. And this has been, I think this has been revamped twice. Always worth it. Galilum, this is nice too because this is a perfect Shizuru supporter because it lets her give more damage dealt to debuffed enemies, which she's going to do all the time, and takes less damage from them because she's going to get hurt a lot. Because she just needs armor. She just really needs it. Like, all the time. Marguerite is something that it's like... This is something that, like... If this was in blue, I would like it more. Because this would be a really good supporter for Lapis. Because you can actually, like, do a 2 blue, 1 green situation. So if you're, like, you're running a lot of humans or something like that, there's a lot of people do. They'll use, like, Asagi... Like, Lapis, Asagi, Astaroth, so it's not really effective on her. We don't have a human healer yet, so because all our only healers are demons. The one reason I don't make a detailing the best supporters type of thing is, one, I don't have all the supporters, and I never will. And two, things change in the game so much, it will immediately date itself. If I was to do anything, I'd probably have to go over what the core supporters for the game are. Because look at this, it's like... Like, most of my inventory is just filled with crap. And like, look at this. Like, these are all the supporters I don't regularly use. Like, let's see. Like, if we were gonna go over core, well, this is another core supporter, Shiryuki. I think she's maybe been reran again at some point. I don't remember. But she's good because she just deals innately more damage for racials. It's like, if you're just Astaroth, just simply exist. You're now doing 36% more damage. Like, this Astaroth supporter is actually fucking terrible. I mostly have it just to have it. And I actually got one copy out of the exchange, which I did not like. Because it's like, really? Yeah, nobody wants to update the wiki either, because do you know how much of an undertaking it is to update simply just a regular wiki? It makes you really appreciate it when a game actually has one that's, a game or a website actually has one that's updated frequently, because that is a ton of work. It's effectively a second job on something that's like very, very, a very constantly updated and busy game. Like, the people who run the Granblue Fantasy wiki are some of like the most dedicated artists around. They love that game. They have the most desperate sunk cost fallacy inside it ever. And it's the most efficient wiki I've read in a long time. It's like going to the Elder Scrolls wiki or something, like the actual one. That's not run like on fandom or some shit. No, it's like the actual one that's like, it runs smoothly. There's no ads. It's like, it's so good. Granblue's one also has redirects too, so you can type in community terms, and it will take you to the page. It's simple stuff like that. Like, I can honestly sit here and talk for like the next 2 hours about like supporters, since these are like the core of the game. In fact, we could just probably let's go over like the supporters that are in my most used section. Warframe's wiki's really good too. That's another game that's like which really detailed. Destiny has another really good wiki. That's very highly detailed too. Comes with a lot of stats. The Bloons Tower Defense wiki, that's another one that's really, really well kept. Like, they don't have a lot of bullshit in there. It's just straight facts, math, and lots of fun stuff in there too. Rather than best supporters, things to look for in a good supporter. Okay, so when you want to look for something that has like a good supporter, you usually want to find that it has a very specific effect and a very simple way to activate it. Arabella Glucksheim is one of the most premier units in the game because she does simply one thing and one thing really, really well. She's in a color that a lot of characters use. Well, you look for the color and you look for the passive effect. So she's in Protect, which synergizes very well with Astaroth's builds. She wants to, if you're running Supernova, you run her because you're going to be using this for VR. Actually, let's start over. This is a perfect way to do it. So when we're looking for a supporter, we need to think of what we're going to be doing. For instance, we're going to play Miss Astaroth in VR. We're going to be using Supernova. So I want to, in VR, we're going to be facing usually 1 to 10 enemies. So, and it's always going to have a boss. So Arabella will be a good pick for this situation because Supernova is a skill that requires blue. She's in blue. And she deals 40% more damage dealt to the boss by 40%. That means everything Astaroth does is going to have 40% more damage when you're attacking the boss. So when I'm facing Mass Taimanin, my flamethrower is going to do more damage, my meteors are going to do more damage. 40% more to be exact. sometimes to look out for is something like the call effect. This is just okay at best. It's a line drive attack, and it deals burn damage for 50% for 10 seconds. Good damage tick, good stuff. It's just there to help burst down armor when you need it, and it leaves a lingering burn effect. That can also work with Astaroth's burn damage too, but you typically use this as a passive. This is a good supporter because it doesn't have a niche effect to get going. Like, you use this anywhere. Every level's got to have a boss, and so it's going to get value anywhere. So let's take a look at a supporter that's not so good. I think I can't remember what her name is because I don't use her. Let's see. Oh, this one's perfect. All right, this is a New Year Kaoru. All right. Combo stack duration by 50%, increases damage of normal attacks by 22%. And on her call, she's got her chains that reduces damage taken by a percentage, 5 seconds every 10 combos, and deals more damage to nearby enemies, reduces critical rate. Not exactly the best supporter because you really only care about combo stack duration on hard mission, on farming levels with hard missions, because you want to get that 3rd star. Damage on normal attacks. Alright, so that means it has the very specific connotation of, alright, you just do, it's a 2244 supporter. So when you max this out, it does a 44% more damage on normal attacks. You just use this as a passive effect. Combo stack duration is effectively, well, pointless. But it's limited, so you're not even thinking about this anymore. It's increased damage of normal attacks by 22%. So you need to have, so you're using a character that's probably going to want massive normal attack damage. Alright, who wants normal attack damage? Murasaki and Asagi. They're like the queens of that stuff. They usually run green because they can take advantage of critical hits with that. And Kaoru is in blue. So she's out on an island away from everything that's beneficial for it. It's an unfortunate state of affairs for her. Maybe someone else can use that in the future. In fact, this will probably be more or less useful for someone like Lapis. But typically when you look for something like in a supporter, it's that you're purpose driven. You have to be. Because you can't be, you can be picky and choosy and stuff like that. But I'm not about to run Anrose, who only works with demons, and then who only works with demons, and I'm going to put it on a human. That just doesn't make any sense, and it's a waste of resources. How would I explain that better? So yeah, to go over that, you just look for the specific purpose you're doing. In my case, that would be VR, and you pick accordingly. You look for a low activation effect cost, or it would probably be a good thing as a supporter. Like, Furfur is a supporter that is very good for fighting against demons and fighting against machines. Her call effect, kinda crap. You don't use her for the call effect. You use her for the innate damage boost. She's also one of the few colors in blue, first supporters in blue, that allows for that kind of effect. Arabella, easy way to activate. It's going to be almost always active. That, or you look for a supporter that gives you very specific effects to what you're doing. So, VR is constantly filled with insanely high damage. So, you want to be tankier, and you want to be, you need to be mobile, and you need to be tanky. So, damage reduction and HP bolstering are built in. So that makes Astaroth much more stiff to like harder attacks. And even then, it makes her do more damage. So you either look for something like, oh, I'm gonna put more damage. It's like either like build damage. You build for what you're doing. Like this Astaroth is built specifically to do as much damage as possible. So I put skill damage boost, and this I want the skill damage boost because she's specifically using Supernova all the time, which is perfect. And not only that, she gets to come back with a damage reduction, a damage boost, and HP boost. It's like this is like the perfect supporter for something like that. Honestly, I wish I had like a. I wish I had Onigumo, because then she would just directly replace Furfur. Oh, Onigumo is perfect for this, actually. Christmas. I wish Saya was playable, though. She's actually had a few events. She's actually been featured in a few events and be really good for it. Alright, I've gone and talked long enough. Thank you everybody for stopping by. That was a really good time with Lina. She absolutely kicks ass all the time. Really, really good character. I even got to do a little cleanup. And I got to talk about supporters and such to look out for. Once again, thank you everybody for stopping by. Don't forget to like, comment, rate, favorite, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.